Ugh. So it's about 11:56 on a Sunday night, and I'm in the middle of editing this video together, and I thought I should film a little disclaimer for y'all explaining why it is that this video is being posted. Because it's not like my normal content. It's a little bit hard-hitting and not very cheerful. Originally, much of this video was filmed with the intent that only patrons would see it. It's kind of like an explanation for where I was in life at that moment. Only patrons were gonna get to see this video, because I thought I owed them an explanation. I mean, I owe everyone an explanation, but them in particular. It has a little bit of humor, I guess. I tried to make it somewhat enjoyable. But there are tears. There are instances, moments where I do break down a little bit. And I think those are important to see, because it shows exactly where it was that I was before the ending clip in the video, which is just as equally important, because both sets of clips, well, one clip versus the sets of clips that make up a large majority of this video, contrast each other in a way that I think some people might need to hear right now. Hence the title of this video. Because it's a reminder that one day you might be down on your luck and feeling like absolute crap and not with it at all, and like the world is out to get you, completely against you. And then everything can flip on its head like that. And so my intention behind making this video public for everyone to see is to offer someone, whoever might need it out there, just a little bit of hope. Because I know I probably needed this kind of a thing, I guess, when I was where I was. And I hope I can be that for somebody. Hopefully. Even just one person is more than enough. So, watch me in my darkest hour, why don't you? I would say enjoy, but that doesn't feel like the right thing to say. Let's bring this your bad boy a little closer to mama. So, I picked a really great time to graduate, you guys. Not only is it an election year that I found myself trying to get a job during, but we also find ourselves smack dab in the middle of the end times. Wouldn't you know it? At least it feels like that. You see, not only do we have the pandemic to wallow in this second decade of the second millennium, but 2020 has come with some sweet new bonus features, the likes of which you'd have rather witnessed during the last couple of episodes of Game of Thrones than in your actual day-to-day life, let's be honest. Bonus features like the Second Holocaust. I'm talking to you, People's Republic of China. Yes, we all see what you're doing with the Uyghur Muslims. Senile DNC presidential candidate, and Kanye for president? Yeah, it's been a weird year. But while we are engaging this hell year, I have submitted damn near I think it's more than 150 at this point. It's just maybe south of 200, just north of 150. I do know that there are over 100 that are just floating around in the limbo of human resources departments and the black holes of recruiter files. And minus my bartending gig, I have received exactly one single offer. This was for a 4-month-long contractual position as a call center customer service representative. I would be hired on by a company to be contracted out to work for a secondary company. And because of this, they were going to have me sign an 18-month-long non-compete, where if I got hired by the company they'd contracted me out to work with, they would be entitled to a portion of my monthly income. And then there was a secondary condition that just didn't sit right with me, that was basically, for the duration of my 4-month-long contract, I could not job search or interview until the last 2 weeks of my contract term, which is a ludicrous thing to request of anyone. I mean, how are you going to enforce that unless you are blatantly violating someone's personal privacy in a way that is definitely illegal? But particularly, this was ridiculous to ask of me when I'm having such a bitch of a time job searching for the last 6 to 7 months. 2 weeks to find a replacement for your 17 an hour swindle? I think not, my good sir. Anyway, the intermittent trickling rejections are fine. I can deal with a rejection. Yeah, it stings a lot, especially when I don't even qualify for internships in my area of study. But at least I know, you know? At least I'm not staring at my spreadsheet for hours on end like I've been left on red wondering where I possibly went wrong. Like, did I misspell something in my resume? Did my cover letter sound too desperate? Did I accidentally identify as a male in my application instead of female this time? I mean, quite frankly, I'm a little bit shocked as a woman. Whatever happened to the pushing and shoving of women into STEM fields? I was under the impression that that was what we were all about nowadays. That's what I was banking on, quite frankly. I was told that we needed to bridge that discrepancy between the genders. And so here I am, ready, willing, and able, and boob certified. Quite frankly, it's making me reconsider the last 4 years of my life, just a little bit. I'm considering that maybe I made a wrong decision somewhere and should have pursued something like archaeology or creative writing, or fuck, I wonder how the gender studies folk are faring these days. Quite honestly, they're probably doing better than me. At least they're busy being activists on the streets of Portland, probably. I don't know. I don't keep track. I've been too busy job applying with every waking moment of my life, which is why videos have become a little bit more sparse. Because I'm kind of in a funk. I mean, I thought... I thought I'd at least have a position when I got out of college at some company as an entry level. And then I found out that that's not going to be the case, and it's just kind of like a windfall, you know? Like, the last 4 years of my life have been building up to a great, big, nothing burger. Which terrifies me. Because time is one of those finite resources that you're not supposed to be wasting. And I only get so much of it, right? So I shouldn't waste it. Anyway. Excuse me. Sorry, this whole thing has been making me feel so much more pathetic than I usually do. yeah, it's kind of weighing on me a lot. But I thought I owed you guys an explanation for why it is I haven't been on top of my game content creating recently. It's not because I don't want to. I desperately do. It's the one thing that really grounds me. Makes me feel like I'm actually doing something impactful instead of just getting stuck in a rut. Because, at least I can look at the analytics and go, yeah, I made views today. Heckin' yeah, Weebo. Good times. With the job search, can't really do that. I can just look at my spreadsheet and go, I applied to 6 jobs today and heard back from exactly 0. Or Indeed reported back to me that only 1 company had viewed my application. Which is another thing, right? Okay, depressing tangent over. Did companies just freeze hiring and forget to tell everybody? I've been ghosted by recruiters so many times. It's honestly got to be one of 2 things. Either COVID has forced recruiters or companies just in general to mitigate their new hires, which is fine. I get it. Do me the courtesy, though, however, of sending me an email, or maybe don't leave the job posting up. Alternate suggestion there. Or I just flat out did not get the job, which, fine, okay, but at least tell me that I'm not good enough so I can clear you off of my spreadsheet, because honestly that's the most disheartening thing ever, is just to have random nulls in my spreadsheet from like January. That's the worst. For someone who obsesses over data like that, for none of it to mean anything over time. I can't tell you how much that hurts me. And of course there's probably a plethora of other reasons why it is that no one's saying anything to me, I just haven't thought of them yet, and no one's proposed them to me yet, so I'm sticking with the 2 that I've proposed to you here today. What gets me, what really grinds my giblets, is that I think I might have applied for damn near every single associate, junior, new graduate, entry-level position that you could possibly think of in the Midwest, and a large percentage of them have this little fun thing in the qualifications section. It's my favorite line. Let me read it to you. Must have a bachelor's degree in computer science or related technical field and 1 to 2 years of professional experience. Professional experience. Professional experience. Professional experience. As if the last 4 years of my life were a joke. Listen, buddy. I developed a whole-ass game program complete with an AI computer opponent and graphics over the course of 4 months that simulates a card game for my senior project, and you're telling me that amounts to shits and giggles to your HR team because I wasn't in a professional setting when I finished that work? Sir. Sir. I would like a word. So, okay. What that told me is that maybe I need to lower my standards just a tad bit, just a little bit. So, I ventured to look at internships, which I'd definitely be qualified for, right? You'd think. Turns out, not so much. Must be currently pursuing a bachelor's degree in CS or related field. So I'm left asking myself, what are my options here? Do I freelance? Do I geek squad? Should I start my own tech company from the ground up and risk going bankrupt as a result? I'm exhausted, and I've exhausted a lot of contacts, and predominantly I've been told by these contacts that companies are currently on a hiring freeze due to COVID. Yay. The rest, I don't have the requisite experience in the tech field area spot that they need. And that's my problem. So right now, I find myself stuck in a vicious loop of just mass applying to all of these recruitment forms and working on padding my resume with all of the skills that my contacts are looking for. And of course, in order to do that, I need to be able to demonstrate that. So I've hunkered down and started teaching myself a whole bunch of new different coding things and softwares and oh god, my brain is fried. I didn't do this much learning in college in a year, but now all of a sudden I'm overexerting myself. I'm more stressed out now than I was during finals in any of my 4 years. I have less free time now than I did my senior year. And shit's still kind of shut down is the funny bit. I haven't had a break, even though I thought I was gonna get one. I worked for 4 years towards getting my degree, so that I wouldn't have to kill myself for the rest of my life. And now it feels like I'm killing myself. Oh boy, this is a fun video. I'm particularly pissy about the number of companies that I've applied to with postings in Chicago, only to find out that they're actually contract placement firms that want relocating flexibilities in their hiring candidates after they've snagged you in an unbreakable 2-year contract that involves training and then ambiguous placement. It's kind of like a bait and switch, almost. It's kind of infuriating, I'm not gonna lie, because they're everything I'm looking for in the place that I'm looking for, supposedly, and I'm everything that they're looking for. So it should be a match made in heaven, until you find out that it's not. And by then, you've already been contacted by a recruiter for a screen interview. And they just pull this rug out from under you like it's not a big deal. Like they didn't just lie to your fucking face. Oh, that's really classy. And then, of course, I can't seem to escape that teacher life. You know, because in college I was a tutor, and a TA, and a programming instructor. And, well, because I have that in my resume, I get reached out to for substitute teaching positions and ACT prep positions, which again has nothing to do with my degree. It's just, it feels like one giant fuck you, honestly. And there's not much that I can do to fix it. I got it! I got a job! I did it! I did it!